All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jenny Kroger, and I'm the Communications Director for the FSU College of Education. I want to welcome you to our Teacher Education Preview Day. We're super excited to have you with us today to learn more about our teacher education programs here at FSU. So just a quick overview of the agenda for today. First up will be our 2020 and 2021 Florida Teachers of the Year, Dr. Dre Graham and Ms. Krista Stanley, who will be sharing some words of wisdom with you guys. And then after that, you'll hear from Ms. Mia Hines. She's one of our academic advisors here in the College of Ed, and she'll be providing information about admissions, scholarships, and more. You'll also hear from our faculty, who will provide a brief overview of our programs. And then at that time, we'll move into breakout rooms where you can learn more about our programs from faculty and current students in the program. And you'll have the chance to ask them any burning questions that you have. And then at the very end of the event, we'll come back to the main room for a Q&A and wrap up. So when it comes time for breakout rooms, you should be able to select which ones you're interested in. And if you're interested in multiple programs, you can pop back and forth as you need to. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dre Graham, our 2020 Florida Teacher of the Year.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Dr. Dre here. I am the 2020 Florida Teacher of the Year and currently serve as the Executive Director for the Office of Independent Education and Parental Choice, which just is a fancy way of saying the school choice office at the Department of Education. Super excited to be with you all and just to talk about the incredible journey that you're about to embark on. You know, there is nothing like the field of education. It is not only the cornerstone, but it is the foundation of our society. You talk about a role and a place that provides the opportunity to leave a lasting impact. You talk about teachers. We can all think about that one teacher who was so significant in our lives and that person who is responsible for us being where we are. I know for me, it was my high school band director who not only served as that mentor and that additional parental figure in my life. I actually got to take over for her after I finished my undergraduate program and took over the program at my high school. And so she continued to serve as a mentor, became a colleague, and was 100%. I attribute my success as an educator not only to my father, but then also to her. And you know, you think about the reason why you're here, and it's so important to remember to keep that why at the forefront. When you look at the news and the media and you hear all these things about, oh, why you shouldn't be a teacher, you remember that what we do in education, we are the foundation for literally everything in society. Everything starts with education. It's also the best way to take an opportunity and to provide a chance for the next generation to be elevated. I often say we are positively impacting the next generation of world changers, and that's not an exaggeration. As teachers, you're not only creating world changers because those students who are going to grow up and who are going to take over society, who are going to take over the government, are going to take over these different positions whenever they grow up, they are going to change the world. And in turn, that makes you, as the educator, the world changers, because you have a unique opportunity to leave a lasting impact on every single student that walks into your classroom. And what's great about being a teacher is that they will also leave an impact on you. If you look behind me at my screen that I have back there, those are my students who we had a once in a lifetime opportunity to perform on stage at Carnegie Hall. And you're talking, I taught at a Title I school, and these my students were not students who had the opportunities to go off on vacations during spring break and oh, hey, you know, we're gonna go visit another country over the summer. Like, these were landlocked, didn't have a lot of opportunities, but through education they got a once in a lifetime opportunity, an experience like none other. Many of them, it was their first time ever going on a plane, and they were talking students from 14 to 18 years old. Much less when we got there, they saw snow flurries. And this is a bunch of Floridians who didn't know, they're like, snow, what is this white stuff dropping from the sky? But that's the power, that transformative opportunity that you have as a teacher. So as you are making your plans and as you're getting ready to embark on this journey of education, I encourage you to take every opportunity you can to soak in as much information as you can, but also to enjoy the experience and really keep in the forefront, how can you, through the activity of learning now to become an incredible educator, Your goal is to walk into that class and be able to leave an impression on every single student who you get the opportunity, the chance to interact with, because it is just that, it's an opportunity to leave an impact. So I am here for you guys, and actually, for those who are coming on campus, I am literally, you could walk to my office from the College of Ed and from many of your classes. But I'm going to put my email into the chat. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. And I just look forward to hearing about the incredible things that you all are accomplishing. I'm also, I guess I did leave out that I am also a student in the College of Ed. I am currently working on my second doctorate because I'm a really big dork, and I'm getting my ed doctorate in learning design and performance technology. So super excited to continue to be a student with you as we welcome you to the Florida State University College of Education. Go Noles.
All right, thank you so much, Dre. Up next is Ms. Krista Stanley.
Hi, first, I'm just so excited to be here and be able to speak to you today. My name is Krista Stanley, and I'm the 2021 Florida Teacher of the Year. It's been such a humbling experience this year, and I've learned so much. I graduated from FSU in 2016, so I was a student there, and I actually am back at FSU now in the College of Education to pursue my master's in educational leadership. So I'm also super excited to be back there with you all. But I live in Okeechobee, Florida, and I've served as a sixth grade math teacher here for the past 4 years. So this year I'm not in the classroom and I'm on a sabbatical, and it's amazing and incredible opportunity. But I have been a sixth grade math teacher, so middle school, for the past 4 years. And it has just been an incredible journey, and the best journey I could have ever asked for, that I didn't realize I wanted or needed. And so I just want to share a little bit with you about that. And also something that's just a little bit unique. And I love speaking to students who are interested in becoming teachers or to future educators, because I was just there a few years ago. I mean, this is my 5th year as an educator. So I was where you are now 5 years ago, and I, chose to be a teacher, and it's the best decision that I made. And it's not always easy, and it can be difficult, and I like to share that with teachers, or with future teachers, not to scare them, but to encourage them. Something that I've learned is, my struggles and my failures have to become lessons. And when you learn from those failures, anything is possible. So I know my first year, I struggled, and there were certain things, and I just had to recognize that I needed help, and I reached out to those who could help me, and I was intentional about making the choices so that I could be a better educator for my students. And that's really what got me to where I am today and where I want to continue to be. I know next year when I'm back in the classroom, I can't wait to really reflect on this year and the past 4 years and to choose to be better again. I want to continue to grow because I know that I can. And I think it's just important to throw that out there and to recognize that we're all capable of growth every single day. We're never going to be okay where we're at. And I think as a teacher, you really need to know that, because things are constantly changing. But it's something to look forward to. I love learning every day. And so it's just super exciting to be able to say, I want to be better, and I'm going to be better today for my students. Another thing I really am passionate about is setting high expectations so that all of my students are capable of believing that they're successful. And so something, going back to how you reflect on your experiences as a student and those teachers that impacted you. And that's something I do often. I think back to high school and my middle school and elementary school teachers, and I want to be that teacher for my students now. And I think that's a really, a good place to start whenever you're thinking about how you want to be as a teacher. How did you respond to those teachers, and how can you support your students in that same way? And so I just think it's important and so essential for us to be able to support our students and to really see their needs and be able to meet their needs where they're at. There's really no other job like it. And, as a teacher, we get to support our students every day, but we also support colleagues, and we get to work with our school. And it's just an incredible opportunity and privilege. It really is a privilege to be able to go to school every day, serve our students the way that they need, and to be able to help them be successful. And there's nothing more inspiring than to be able to do that. I've had students come in my classroom in sixth grade math, that know they have no idea, they have no clue what their multiplication facts are. And they need those for almost every single standard in our grade. And as a teacher, you can go two ways. You can be a little discouraged by that, or you can say, what can I do about that? And so, that's something that I do every year. And I'm like, okay, how can I set goals for this student? And how can I let them see that they are capable of mastering these multiplication facts, and they are capable of mastering 6th grade math standards? And so what I've noticed is by setting those high expectations and really supporting my students the best way I know how, they are successful and they master the 6th grade content. And it's because I set out and they set out to reach those high expectations and those goals in the classroom. But as a teacher, again, it's just our privilege to be able to do that. And it's so exciting. So I hope that you'll just welcome that challenge of finding a way to support your students individually, while also finding a way to support your individual growth as a teacher and as an educator, and really as a person. I mean, being a teacher has made me a better person. And I think every teacher would say that. So welcome to the College of Education. And if you have any questions, I'm going to put my email in the chat as well. Please reach out. I would love to help you. Again, this was not very long ago for me, so I love speaking to new teachers or to future educators. So please reach out.
All right, thank you, Krista. Next up, I'd like to introduce Ms. Mia Hines. She's an academic advisor here in the College of Education.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Teacher Ed Preview Day. As Jenny said, I am the BSMS advisor, and I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit about the programs that we offer, some of our admissions requirements. I'm also an educator, and so I'm really passionate about making sure, as our guests have already said, about why teaching is so important and why we just really think that, everyone that wants to and has the opportunity should try to go forth with it. So I definitely thank Krista and Dre for those words of encouragement of getting our students excited about going into teacher ed. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the programs that we offer. We do have a 3-year bachelor's and master's teacher preparation program. And upon graduation from that program, you will be a state approved teacher preparation completer, and you will be able to get your certification. You do have to finish, for any of the programs listed here, you do have to finish all 3 years in order to get your certification in that area. So we have 5 different programs that offer the bachelor's, master's, and that's elementary education, English education, and you will be certified to teach in grades 6 through 12. And you also get an ESOL and a reading endorsement, and also with elementary ed. For social science, you are certified to teach grades 6 through 12. Special education, you will be certified to teach grades K through 12. And there's also endorsements that we offer in autism, ESOL, and reading. And then we have a visual disabilities education program, and you will be certified to teach grades K through 12. We have faculty and students from all of those programs here, and you'll be able to learn more about those programs in the breakout rooms. But those are the BSMS programs that we call for short. We also have other teacher preparation programs at FSU. We have a music education program. We have an FSU Teach program, which if you are interested in math, teaching math or science in any of the areas listed, you will actually be able to receive a bachelor's degree in your subject area and in teaching. Our FSU Teach director, Robin, is here with us, and she will be able to talk to you about all of the admissions requirements for that program if you are interested in the breakout rooms. And we also have art education. And also, if you have any questions while I'm presenting, make sure you put them in the chat and I'll try to answer them. We also have an education minor. Students can take 12 credits of education courses and the courses listed and receive a minor. It does not lead to any type of professional education certificate, but you are able to do that if you choose. And you do have to apply to that, and the application is at this link provided. You can find all this information on our website as well, on the College of Education's website. So I'm just going to talk to you about more in depth about the BSMS programs. I am the advisor for the BSMS programs, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what that program is and how to apply. So just for a graphic, this is just letting you know that this is a 3-year program. And you start in your junior year. Typically, you do a junior year, senior year, you graduate with your bachelor's degree, then you come back for 1 additional year, and that is your master's year. And then you graduate with your master's degree, and then you go off into become a teacher in the classroom. In our program, you will participate in field experiences. The amount of hours that you participate in the field and where you are placed depends on the program that you are in, and your programs will be able to talk to you about that. Typically, our students are placed in elementary, middle, and high schools, and they are typically in the following counties: Gaston, Leon, and Wakulla, for your when you are in the program. During your internship is when you do student teaching, and that's your student teaching semester. You are able to stay in Tallahassee, which is generally Leon County most of the time, or the surrounding counties, or you are also able to go outside of this county and outside of the city if it is approved by our program. So a lot of times students are asking, why should I get a master's degree? Why should I go through the program? Well, number one, you're able to earn a master's degree in 1 year. Typically, a master's degree program is between 2 and 3 years, so that is an incentive. Several states do require teachers to have a master's degree. You are more prepared for degrees if you are interested in eventually going to become a principal or any type of policy work in education. You would be more prepared with a master's degree for that. And it also creates other opportunities and roles for you. So curriculum specialist, the director of assessment, those are things that you might get involved in outside of the classroom once you've taught for a few years. And there's typically a higher salary starting. So depending on the county and depending on the state that you will teach in, you might have a higher salary than those that just leave or just graduate with a bachelor's degree. These are some of our programs, and I wanted to just list some of the average salaries that you can see that teachers in Florida might make. So in English, it's about $51,000, social science, also about $51,000. For special education and visual disabilities education, the average salary is about $53,000. This money is important. It's important to, one of the myths that we know is that teachers don't make a lot of money. And so this slide is really to show you that teachers do make a decent amount of money. Although we do want to, pay teachers more, you will be able to, survive and thrive off of the salary that you would get from being a teacher in the state of Florida. Some of the academic social supports that we will offer in the College of Ed through OASIS, which is the Office of Academic Support. And a lot of you might have come through that office already, might have talked to some of our advisors, but we do offer one-on-one advising. I'm one of the advisors, and I work underneath OASIS. We offer you access to pre-education courses as a freshman and sophomore. So if you are taking or plan to take EDF 1005 or EDF 2085, those are some courses that you're able to take prior to becoming a student in the program. We also have organizations. So once you actually get enrolled into one of our programs, all of our teacher preparation programs have organizations that you can become a part of. One of the organizations that I want to point out is something called Student Future Educator Association, which is SFEA. And that is something that you can get involved in now. You don't actually have to be enrolled in one of our teacher preparation programs. If you are a student that is listed as a student that's interested in teaching at FSU, you might receive emails from me about those meetings. If not, you can definitely send me an email and I will put you on our email list. We meet monthly, and it's just a way for you to get to know other students, either currently in teacher preparation programs, or interested in applying just like you, we are involved in tutoring in the community, and we do other events. So I'm one of the co-advisors along with Dr. Skeppel, Rose Skeppel, and she's also in the room today. So if you are interested in joining SFEA, definitely send me an email. Some other things that we offer for our students once you are enrolled in the program are scholarships. So we all know that money is important, and in order to stay in college, a lot of you already have scholarships, but you might be looking for more scholarships. So the College of Ed offers scholarships annually. We offer over $400,000 annually to students, and you must apply usually in March. I believe March 1st is the deadline. If you are a student, if you are here today and you are a student that is interested in applying this year to the teacher preparation program, you also can apply to our scholarships. Not the same way that current students can, but if you are interested in applying, make sure you send me an email and I will make sure I get that application to you so that you can apply and be considered for scholarships for next year once you enter into the program. There's also a Florida Fund for minority teachers. And that is for students that identify as students of color. And you are able to get up to $4,000 a year while enrolled in our program, all throughout our program. So while you are in the bachelor's portion and the master's portion. Once you are enrolled in the program, you will get information from Frank Amadon. He is our coordinator for that. So if you see anything about that, make sure you respond. We also have the Teach grant, and it is a federal grant. It's not necessarily something that belongs to FSU, but it is a federal grant for students enrolled in teacher shortage areas. So if you are a student interested in applying to special education, English education, or visual disabilities education, you can qualify for this grant. It provides up to $4,000 annually. There is a GPA requirement of a 3.25. And I can give you more information on that once you are enrolled in the program. You can receive all of the scholarships on this page between when you are enrolled in our bachelor's program and when you are enrolled in our master's program. But there are some scholarships that you might not be able to get while enrolled in the master's portion. So I want to make sure that you are prepared because when you are in the master's portion and taking the master's courses, the tuition will be increased. And so it's really important that you are aware of which scholarships that you might have or grants that you might have that qualify. So this is a chart right here to tell you which ones you will be able to receive. Some of you might be receiving the federal Pell Grant right now. You will receive that all throughout the bachelor's program, depending on your family income. But when you become a student enrolled in our master's portion, you will not be able to get the federal Pell Grant. The federal Pell Grant is only for undergraduate students. And so that is across the board, regardless of what major you're in at FSU. For the Florida Bright Future Scholarship, if you have that right now, you will be able to get that, continue to get that while you're enrolled in our BS program. When you become a student enrolled in our master's program, there is a possibility for you to still get some of those funds. You will need to contact financial aid about that. Same for Florida prepaid if you are getting that right now. The Florida Student Assistance Grant, that is, if you get that while you are in the bachelor's program, you get all of your funds. And same for the when you become a student in the MS program, the master's program, you will not be able to get that. For our students that are in the receiving the first generation matching grant or the FSU Care Grant, you will continue to get that in your bachelor's program. In the master's portion of the program, you won't be able to get those funds. So that is just giving you an idea of what if you have any of these right now, what will qualify for the bachelor's and what will qualify for the master's. But keep in mind the scholarships that I mentioned in this slide, you will be able to get those all throughout our program. So if you know that you might lose one of those scholarships during the master's year, you definitely want to take advantage of one of these scholarships and apply to them. And then there will be other scholarships that your individual program might offer to you. You always want to talk to your program directors about those scholarships, okay? So I don't know if I have any questions in the chat. I know I've been talking a while. Is there any questions right now? Nope. Okay, none in the chat. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go on and talk to you about how to apply. So the admissions requirements, the minimum is a 2.5 GPA. You also have to have 60 college credits, which means for the most part, you are satisfying all of your university general education requirements prior to coming into our program. A few things I want to point out is EDF 1005 is Intro to Education. If you are enrolled in it or have taken it already or plan to, it is a requirement and you must get a C- or better. So you want to go ahead and make sure you take that. We also recommend that you take EDF 2085. I am an EDF 2085 instructor, so I am definitely going to give a plug for that course. It does also satisfy your diversity Y requirement. It is not required, but it is recommended, and a lot of times we recommend that students take that course. For English education, you do need to have a subject area course. So either an American Lit or a literature course. And for social science, if you are applying to that program, you do need to have at least 12 credits of social science courses, and they must have a C- or better. And your program, once you get into your breakout rooms, your program faculty director and students will be able to tell you more about those requirements if you're interested in those programs. Another requirement for all of our programs is the general knowledge exam. I'm not sure, a lot of you probably have heard of this. It is, for short, we call it the GK. It is a basic skills test for any student in the state of Florida that is applying to a teacher preparation program. They must take and pass this. And there are 4 different areas: English language, reading, math, and there's an essay portion. It's you can take the test year round, and we do have a testing center here in Tallahassee or other locations in the state of Florida if you are not in Tallahassee right now. It is $130 for all 4. You can take them all at once, all testing areas. You can take them one at a time. You can take them 2 at a time. It just depends on what your comfortability is. The passing score for English language, reading, and math is at least a 200. And for the essay, you have to score at least 8 out of 12. You can register at this link right here. You have to, when you are registering, make sure that you are having your scores reported to FSU when you are signing up to take the test. Students who apply this year, so if you're applying to one of our teacher preparations this year, you do have to take and pass it by July 1st. That's not necessarily the application deadline, but I will talk a little bit more about that. And I am actually the coordinator for all of our workshops and our tutoring. And we do offer those. Some of you might have participated in those either last year or in the fall of this year. And we will be having a few sessions that are coming up in the spring that I will let you know about. So if you are interested, you need more information about the GK, make sure you contact me. My email address is right here, mhines3@fsu.edu. Okay. So for our internal applicants, so if you are currently an FSU student right now, these are the application materials that you need. Number 1, you need to complete an online application at the following link. You can find all this information on our website. And number 2, as I said before, you do need to submit your general knowledge test scores. Scores are due by July 1st. So our application deadlines are between March and April. So you don't have to have your scores by the time you apply. This is a new policy that we've put into place. However, for elementary, special education, and visual disabilities, you will be given, those applicants that have their scores turned in by the deadline will be given first preference. So if you have any questions about that, please make sure you email me and ask that. I think there might be a question in here in the chat, so I am going to. So the question is there a desirable GPA? So 2.5 is the minimum GPA. So for individual programs, once you talk to, if you're interested in one of the programs, when you get into your breakout rooms, you definitely want to talk to the program faculty about the GPA for those programs. But for all of our teacher preparation programs, the minimum is a 2.5. Good question. So for transfer students, if you are a student on here and you are currently at a different institution and you plan on transferring to FSU and you would like to apply to one of our programs, there's one other additional thing that you must do. And then that number one thing right here is apply to FSU and meet all the requirements. So if you go to admissions.fsu.edu/transfer, you will be able to transfer/apply. You will be able to find all those requirements for applying to all of our to applying to the university. A few things I want to point out is there is a world language requirement, so you need to make sure that you have met that. Also, students that transfer typically are used to just using the GPA that is on their previous institution's transcript. FSU will calculate all of your courses. So for instance, let's say you had a course, you didn't do well, you retook it, your previous institution wiped out that grade and doesn't count it towards your GPA. FSU will count that towards your GPA. So just make sure that if you see a difference in your GPAs when you're applying, it's because we actually will include all of your courses into that calculated FSU GPA. If you are applying and you have over 90 credits, there's going to be a statement that you must submit as a part of your application. FSU just wants to know why you are applying and you already have 90 credits because you're really close to graduating. So maybe you decided to change your major, maybe things happen, but you want to make sure you write that statement. We won't be able to move on with your application if that statement is not included. And it can be brief and write straight to the point. So you just tell them exactly why you are applying with over 90 statement and submit it. You also need to submit all your transcripts from high school and other institutions that you were at prior to applying to FSU. Make sure you check them before you submit them, because sometimes we have students that say, well, this grade was supposed to be changed and it wasn't changed. And FSU can't do anything about that. So make sure you're checking your previous institutions before you apply. And then the other things that you need to do is the same as the internal students. You need to complete an online application for our teacher preparation program. And it's at this link right here. I think Jenny is putting those links in the chat. And then also submit your FTCE GK scores. Okay. So application deadlines. So the application deadlines are different for some of our programs. So you have to make sure you're adhering to all deadlines. Students that are accepted in the program that apply for this year, you will start the program in fall 2021. So for elementary education, our deadline is March 15th of this year. For English education, social science, and special education, the application deadline is April 1st of this year. And for our visual disabilities education program, the application deadline is June 1st, okay? So you want to make sure you are adhering to those deadlines. All right. So that is all I have for you. If you have any questions, I will be here. You can ask them now. You can put them in the chat. I also will be here throughout the presentation. But I want to make sure that if you plan on applying, that you meet with one of our lower division academic advisors, and that is Frank Amadon and Bob Birkin. They are listed here. So if you do plan on applying, you want to make sure you make an appointment to meet with them because they will go through your courses and make sure you have met all those requirements. If you have any other questions about GK or any other application processes, you can definitely email me, and my email, I'm Mia Hines, and my email is listed here at the bottom. There is one question in the chat. If I have a couple of classes that I need to take in the summer, that is okay. If you do have courses that you need to take in the summer, you want to make sure you meet with Frank or Bob, and they will note that on your application. We will make sure that we have a note of it, and we'll be looking out for your transcript or your courses and your grades. But it just depends. It can't be probably a lot of courses, but it just really depends which courses they're going to be. And that's why if it's Jorge, that's going to be really important for you to meet with Frank or Bob prior to applying. I have taken and passed all 4 sections of the GK exam, but I am unsure if my scores were sent. Is there any way? Yes, Jessica. Jessica, email me, mhines3@fsu.edu, and I can make sure that your scores have been sent to us. You're welcome. That's all I have. If you have questions, definitely send me an email and schedule an appointment with Frank or Bob. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mia. At this time, our faculty will share a little bit about each of our programs. First up, we have Dr. Angie Davis for elementary education.
Whoop, whoop. I am so excited to be here today. I'm sorry I was a few minutes late. I was actually teaching our elementary language arts class. I'll just sort of reiterate a little bit of what Mia has said about the Combined Pathway program. For elementary education, once you've completed your coursework and your student teaching, then you're eligible for a Florida Teaching Certificate in grades K through 6. That would be all content areas, so math, science, language arts, and social studies. Also, as part of that, you will get your K-12 reading endorsement and K-12 ESOL endorsement. And all that really means is that we're going to, you're going to be taking courses that will prepare you to work with students specifically with literacy, no matter their age and their grade, and as well as working with students where English is their second language. So that's definitely a benefit in the state of Florida. You come out already certified, you would come out in certified in K-6 elementary, and the reading endorsement is really important because the state requires the teachers to have the reading endorsement. So you'll already have that, whereas some of the people that are already teaching are having to go back and get that. Our coursework covers all the content areas, as I was mentioning. So you will have multiple courses in the math methods and the science methods, and then of course the reading and social studies. And one thing that makes our program, I think, pretty unique is the amount of field experience that you get. So each semester in the program, you have the opportunity to participate in a school setting. Most of the time it's in an elementary classroom, but we do try to get some exposure for you with reading in secondary since your endorsement is K-12. But you have the opportunity to work with students in the primary grades, also students in the upper elementary, and work with students from all different kinds of backgrounds, and it gives you the opportunity to apply what you're learning. I know others are going to be sharing about their programs. I hope you'll come to our breakout room. We'll share the entire curriculum map with you, answer questions, and we have some students that are also going to be there if you want to find out what life is like in the day of an elementary ed teacher candidate. And of course, if you can't make it into the breakout room, please feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to meet with you and tell you more about our program.
All right, thanks, Angie. Next up is Dr. Blake Tenor for English education.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. My name is Blake Tenori. I'm the program coordinator in English education. So in our BSMS program, much like the others, you start off in your first year with undergraduate coursework and progress into graduate coursework. So we cover, of course, teaching literature, teaching writing, classroom management, etc. in the earlier courses, and then we get into thinking about data and doing some classroom research in the graduate programs. Hope that you'll join us in the breakout room. My colleague, Dr. Emily Katina, is here along with a couple of students, I think, or one student. So we look forward to meeting you and answering your questions. My email kind of got cut off there. It's btenore, Tenore at FSU, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions if you're unable to join us. I did notice that several of you had us listed among your potential choices. So if you have some time, I hope you'll pop over and say hello. So good luck and enjoy the sessions. Thanks.
Thanks, Blake. Next, we have Ms. Caitlin Ward, who is a doc student in our social science education program.
Hi, so I'm Caitlin Ward. I'm here for Dr. Myers, who is the program coordinator for social studies education. I graduated from this program back in 2017. It was just a undergraduate program at that point. And now I'm back and learning the ins and outs of the master's program. Basically in this program, you're going to take classes on teaching history, teaching students how to become active citizens. We look at global and social issues, different types of assessment that we use in the social studies, and more. So I hope you come to our session. And again, as Blake Tenari said, some of you have social studies listed among other ones, so you can just pop in and I can answer any questions that you have.
Alrighty, thanks, Caitlin. Up next is Dr. Stacy Harden with special education.
Hello, beautiful people. It is great to see all of you. I am the program leader of special education. I am happy to be here. As with all the other programs, it is a 3-year program, so you'll end with your master's degree. We too start off with some of the lower level classes or undergraduate classes, such as intro to special education, classroom management in our program. And then you, of course, progress into graduate instruction. In our program, we are K-12, so you will get a kindergarten through 12th grade plus certification, and the plus is transition age students. So within special education, students can stay until they are 21 years old. So you will learn about transition and what that means for students with disabilities. So we cover mild to moderate disabilities as well as moderate to severe disabilities. I too have a student here, Grace Necresis, and she will talk more about what it's like to be a special education teaching student. I hope that you all will stop by so that we can talk with you more about the program.
Thanks, Stacy. Up next is Dr. Eileen Bischoff with visual disabilities education.
Hi, so as you said, I'm Eileen Bischoff with the Visual Disabilities Education Program. Out in the world, in the schools, visual disabilities education actually falls under the umbrella of special education. At FSU, it is a separate program because we work on the specialized skills that you would need to teach children who have visual impairments, either low vision or blind. Most folks have never heard of this as an option in education, so it comes as a surprise, but children with visual impairments are out in the schools. So even if you are not a teacher of students with visual impairments, you may come across some students who have low vision or who are blind in your classrooms. So our program at FSU, you do just like what Dr. Harden and Dr. Shinori mentioned in the other programs. It is 3 years for the bachelor's master's pathway. You do graduate, you become a teacher of students with visual impairments. You can also specialize in an area called orientation and mobility, which is an area, is that skill to learn, or is that skill where students learn how to become more independent and how to move around. So like if you've ever seen someone with a cane or with a dog guide, we also teach the classes for those teachers, to prepare teachers to do that. So I will be in one of the breakout rooms along with Dr. Gardner, who's another faculty member, and we would be happy to answer your questions and to talk to you about that. So thank you.
Thanks, Eileen. And finally, we have Dr. Robin Smith with our FSU Teach program, which is our math and science education programs.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, FSU Teach is a bit different. It is a double major, so you would end up with a primary major in one of the STEM disciplines, and then you'd get a second major in secondary teaching. So by finishing the program, you would have essentially several options for your future. So you can follow your primary major, whether it's math or biology or chemistry, and pursue either further education in those fields or go into the workforce. But you do graduate fully certified to teach that subject area in grades 6 through 12. We also have extensive field experiences, so you have many opportunities to get out into schools post-COVID and want to work directly with students to see what it's like to be a teacher. In fact, our first 2 prerequisite courses, they're 1 credit, and you are paired up with another student. It's a 1 credit course, as I said, and you get to go out into a school here in Tallahassee and teach 2 either math or science lessons. The first prerequisite course puts you in an elementary setting, because that's a safe environment for if it's your first experience teaching. If you're a freshman or a sophomore, you probably would be a little intimidated to go out and teach high school seniors. So we put you in that environment so that you can concentrate more on the process of preparing an inquiry-based lesson and teaching it to the students and helping them learn some new concepts. If you earn a C- or better in that prerequisite course, we refund your tuition. So it is a free opportunity. It's a prerequisite. So you're just exploring the idea of becoming a teacher, whether you're thinking that that is going to be your pathway, or you're thinking, I'm going to go into a graduate program, and wouldn't it be great for my application to show that I'm already certified to teach this subject area. Then the second prerequisite course, also 1 credit, and that when we put you in a middle school setting. So we've sort of ramped up the challenges in terms of the depth of content, but still we want you to focus on the processes of preparing and delivering an inquiry-based lesson. And again, if you earn a C- or better, we refund your tuition. So we invite anyone to take these prerequisite courses because you can take them as a freshman or a sophomore, even as a junior. We work with you in terms of getting your content and your second major, sort of coordinating them so that you can finish within the 4-year period, which is possible. We've designed the program that way so that you can finish both majors in 4 years. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But so because of those prerequisites, like I said, we invite anyone to take them because you're not committing to the program. You're just exploring. It's only 1 credit and you'll get your tuition back. I'll be in one of the breakout rooms. So if you have any questions about the program, I don't have a student with me today. I think this is a heavy laboratory time, and we've just started back face-to-face. So I know a lot of our current students are actually in classes right now. So just pop into the breakout room and I'll be happy to talk one-on-one with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. So at this time, we're going to head into the breakout rooms, and then we'll meet back here around 3:20 for a final Q&A and wrap up. I'm going to open up all the breakout rooms, and you should be able to select which ones you're interested in, and you're welcome to pop in and out